Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Mysteries from Beyond the Other Dominion. I'm your host, Dr. Franklin Ruehl, and today we're going to investigate the mysterious Mermaid of Mars, tell you about a new development concerning the Shroud of Turin, report on the world's most unusual octopus, and critique the 1959 horror film The Bat, starring Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead, and cover other intriguing subjects, time, of course, permitting. But first, the Mermaid of Mars. Recently, the Spirit rover probe on Mars sent back a very unusual photo of what appears to be a mermaid on the surface of the red planet. Now, please note that this has a hairline, head, arm outstretched, and two legs. Certainly resembles a mermaid, for example, the famous Mermaid of Copenhagen statue. Now, an immediate question, is this a living organism or perhaps a created structure? Well, they only had a single photo, so we don't know if this could be possibly a Martian entity there on the surface of the planet, or if it's just a created statue. Let's take a look at an enlargement that I made. And of course, colorization by yours truly, Ruehl. Here, it's in its enlarged form, I ask if it perhaps resembles a Yeti or Bigfoot, as opposed to just a mermaid. Now, skeptics are saying that this is some sort of unusual sand formation or rock, but I point out the outstretched arm is something that we do not expect to see, that this would argue that this was, at the very least, a created structure, if not a living entity. Now, I point out that back in 1976, we had the celebrated Face of Mars taken by the Viking 1 orbiter from an altitude of 1,170 miles over the northern Martian area known as Cydonia. And this, of course, has a hairline, eyes, nose, mouth, chin. For all intents and purposes, resembles a humanoid face. The dimensionality of that, of course, much greater, 2/3 of a mile from ear to ear, 1 mile from crown to chin. Now, the skeptics say these are all just natural formations or optical illusions. But I point out that if an alien probe were taking photos of terra firma, they might come up with photos of the 3 heroes of the Confederacy at Stone Mountain down in Georgia, the 4 presidential faces at Mount Rushmore, the Egyptian Sphinx in Cairo, and of course, the Copenhagen mermaid. And the skeptics on their planet might say these are nothing but natural formations. They could have been created by intelligent beings. I submit to you that these could be structures created perhaps by an ancient civilization which once existed on the surface of Mars, and as the atmosphere thinned, perhaps migrated underground or underwater, could still exist today on the planet or beneath it, and that this could even be a living entity. Yes, the atmosphere of Mars is poisonous to humans and extremely thin, but entities might actually have evolved on the red planet. And of course, the only way we're going to settle this argument is by sending a manned expedition that would include a geologist, an archaeologist, and biologist to these particular objects to test them out. Now, let's take a look at one cinematic conceptualization of life on Mars, 1950s rocket ship XM, starring John Emery, Lloyd Bridges, Arthur Masson, and Hugh O'Brien. Roll tape.
Right here. When they heard me, they disappeared in there.
Dr. Ekstrom, look at these footprints.
It's going to take a Navajo to figure out what caused these. It's hard to believe. And now maybe you'll agree to return to the ship. We can't stop now. We must find out what kind of creatures they are. It's tremendously important. You don't know how many there are. I'm supposed to hospital with one rifle and a pistol. You want to prepare. That's the chance we have to take. You wait here. I'm going ahead. This kind of thing is just my need. Mind if I come along? Thank you, sir.
I want to go along, too. I have
no, sir, you three stay. I'll have to make that in order. Come on, Bill.